Welcome to the Leverage Show. Get more from your business and your life. Be sure to share your business questions and challenges with me at leverageshow.com and I'll answer them on future episodes. So today I want to share with you a social media marketing quick start guide. Now, if you're not already sold on the idea of building your traffic, building your followers, and sort of building your tribe through social media, let me just give you a few of the benefits. If you're already on board, I'm going to share with you a few steps to get you started really, really quickly. So the benefits of social media marketing as opposed to some of the old traditional styles of marketing. Number one, when you get it rolling, it ultimately costs you nothing. It takes time and it will definitely take a little bit of investment and effort, but it isn't going to cost you a lot of money. So as opposed to sort of buying an ad or buying a sponsorship or doing any of these other kinds of paid advertising methods, it's ultimately cheaper, which is always a good thing. The other thing is the traffic that you're going to get, the prospects, are targeted. There are people that are interested in what you have to say, because if they weren't interested, they wouldn't be interested in reading even what you're talking about. They wouldn't be following you, and they wouldn't be paying attention. So you're naturally going to attract people that are the natural audience for what you're trying to sell, which is another really important factor. If you take out a newspaper ad or a television ad and you broadcast it to 1 million people, but it's for something that no one in the market is actually interested in, it doesn't matter how many people see it, you're not going to make any sales. So by having targeted traffic, that's a really key factor and a key aspect of it. The other aspect of it that's really valuable is that it's viral. So you are going to be able to get people that really enjoy the content that you provide and are willing to buy from you. They trust you. They sort of get to know you through this social media. They're going to share that with other people that they know. So that's going to help you build your audience of people that is targeted and that is free and everything else. And then the last factor, it's not all of them, but the last significant factor that I want to share is the idea that it is evergreen. This is not to be underestimated, because when you take out a normal advertisement or you pay for an ad or you get a billboard or whatever sort of other paid mechanisms you're using for traffic, it's sort of like a one and done. As soon as you stop paying, the traffic stops. As soon as you don't, renew the ad, your ad no longer appears. You'll get a trickle of people that have an old publication or that remember seeing the ad a while back or something like that. But the large flow of the traffic and customers and prospects is going to stop. Whereas with social media, you have the ability to reach out to them at a moment's notice, and it will only get bigger and bigger and bigger if you take care of it the right way. So those are the benefits. So if you weren't totally on board, hopefully you are now, because every business can use those things. Every business needs to grow, needs more customers, needs more prospects, and wants more word of mouth business as well, because that's the highest converting kind of business you can get. Everybody's had the experience where their friend told them about some restaurant they ate at, and then the next week you're at the restaurant eating there. You may or may not have gone there without the recommendation, but once your friend told you that, you trusted their ability to, judge what a good restaurant is. So you said, we'll give it a try. So let me share a few steps with you that you can use to get started really quickly. If either A, you haven't started social media marketing, or B, you've got some stuff set up, but you're not getting any results from it. There are 4 basic steps, and there's a lot more that you can do, but this is just the basic quick start guide. The first thing that you want to do is you want to create as many profiles on as many, different services as you can and want to. So there's no rule. It doesn't mean you have to go to, Instagram and Pinterest and Twitter and Facebook and Snapchat and do all of these services. There's 100 of others of them as well. You don't have to. But anywhere you think your market might be, it makes sense to take the time to at least go in and set up a profile. Now, here's the key though. When you're setting up a profile, the way you're going to get people interested is the process that other people are going to sort of follow what you're doing is by what you say, what you post, but also they're going to click on your profile. If when they go to your profile, there's like the headshot like image of, the silhouette, and there's no information on your profiles at all, you're going to have a hard time building a real following. You need to actually fill that stuff out. Now, this takes a little bit of time, and this is one of the shortcuts that a lot of people try to take, and then they wonder why they can't build a social media presence. You have to imagine that you're at a party, okay? You might tell a funny joke, and that might get some people interested in talking to you. But if they don't know who you are and they have no ability to get to know you at all, people sort of lose interest. If you're at a party, then you're going to introduce yourself. They're going to introduce themselves. Hi, my name is, what do you do? What do you do? Where do you live? Blah, blah, blah. And that's the same conversation you're having on social media because it's a social media. The whole idea is that it isn't there so you can broadcast advertisements to people. That's another big mistake people make. It's there to connect with other people. When you do that in a genuine way, the rest of it just flows from that. Okay, so you want to just connect with people. Fill out those profiles. If you only want to do 2 or 3, that's fine. If your market is, they're not in the younger set, so Snapchat is useless for you, that's fine. You don't have to do them all. But the ones you do, fill them out completely. Now, once you've done that, step 2 is to focus on just 1 or 2. Just 1 or 2. You're not going to try to build up each of the profiles at all the same time. People try the shotgun approach where they figure, what I'll do is I'll post a little bit to all these things, and wherever I get a little bit of traction, that's where I'll spend my time. That doesn't work. It's the exact opposite effect. You need to put the time and effort in first, then you will see the attraction of your audience. Then you will see the growth of your followers, the promulgation of all of your content. You're not going to get that by posting a couple things in 100 different places. So focus on 1 or 2, and it's smartest if you can to focus on the 1 or 2 where your market is most likely to hang out. You might like Facebook, but if your market is on Twitter, that's really where you should focus, or maybe do them both. You might really love Pinterest, but if your, or Instagram, but if your products and services don't lend themselves to visual, posts, there's only so much you're going to be able to do there unless you want to dress in funny hats and take some pictures and put them up there. That might get some attention. You're going to have to get creative. So you need to think about what your product is and where your market is if you're not unsure where to focus your time. And then start building your profile. And by the way, if you're still not sure, you could just do a search for, social platform demographics or something like that. There are all kinds of information online about percentage of users that are male and female, average income, education, for all of these services, ages. So you could see exactly where your market is more likely to hang out. And what you want to do is you want to post consistently. This is really, really important. Another mistake that a lot of people make in trying to do this is they post a couple things and they don't get any likes or shares or follow. That's kind of a waste of time. Like, why bother with this? That, again, is the wrong approach. You have to put more in order to get more out. If you do it consistently, people will start to find your content. And you want to make sure that your content is relevant and that it's quality. So consistency, relevancy, and quality are the 3 key elements of your content. If the stuff is good and it's relevant to your market and you do it often enough, you're going to attract followers, especially when you move on to step 3. And step 3, and by the way, when I say consistently, you don't have to make 100 posts a day. but you've got to post at least something every single day, at least weekdays, at a minimum 5 times a week. You know, depending on the platform, you may want to post more, but at least once a day to give people a sense that you're active, you're engaged in your account. You may want to post more than that. The third step is to follow others and engage with their content. This is the easiest way to get people to engage with yours. It's the theory of reciprocity. If you do something for other people, they're more likely to do it for you. How many times have you gone in a place and held the door for somebody and then they hold it for somebody else? How many times have you seen that happen? You know, how many times have you done a favor for somebody and then you'd see them turn around and sort of do a favor for somebody else? It's the theory of reciprocity. If somebody comes up to you and you're having a conversation and they say to you, oh, so what do you do for a living? Oh, that's really interesting. That's great. And, so what do you like to do for hobbies? You start answering questions. After a couple of minutes, you start to feel weird because they're asking you, but they're not telling you anything. So then you feel like you have to then say, well, what do you do for work? Well, what do you like for hobbies? It's the theory of reciprocity, and it works. So if you start to engage in other people's content, you start looking at the stuff, you start liking it, favoriting it. I don't mean just random stuff. I mean stuff, again, that's relevant to your market. And you start following those people, you're going to find something miraculous happens. They start following you. They start favoriting and liking your stuff. Not one for one, but you will start to get that traction. Now, the key element here is to make sure the people that you're following are relevant to your market, not just anybody to follow, and that you want to definitely follow and engage people's content that are influencers in your market. People with the largest following, people with the largest number of retweets, people with the largest number of favorites or, shares or whatever it is on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram, likes, shares, favorites. The principle is the same. The people that have the highest amount of engagement with their content are people you want to follow and engage with their content because they're the influencers. And when you start to do that, you get to become more associated with them and then more people will start to follow you. That's a really important point. And they can do wonders for you if they start to promote your content because they might have hundreds of thousands of people that if they send your stuff out to them, you could instantly overnight gain a ton of additional followers and people engaging your content. And then the fourth and the fifth step, or 4 and 4B, I guess, and these are optional, is you could buy ads for exposure and faster growth. Now, these ads, I'm not talking about buying something to advertise. I'm talking about just to expand your social reach. So this is a cost. This isn't something you're going to make money from right away. But like you could put up a Twitter campaign to buy followers. I don't suggest you buy a bulk group of followers. I'm talking about through Twitter where they post your ad. So people have to actively click it in order to engage with your content. But it will show it to the relevant audience right up there in the bar, people to follow. You can promote your content. Only people that are interested in it will click on it and engage it. That's useful to you. Buying 1 million followers from some black box dealer is useless because those people don't really care. It's just going to look like you have a lot of followers. They're not going to engage in your content. But you could buy these ads and they're actually relatively cheap if you do it the right way. You can do the same thing on Facebook if you want. You could do it organically, but it takes longer. If you want to buy some ads and spend a few dollars, you could build it up a lot faster. The key is to make sure you still do it the right way. And then 4B is if you want to get your content out to all of those services that you signed up for, you could invest in one of these tools that auto posts it when you post it to one place. There are a bunch of these tools online. You could just do a search. And a lot of times it's like, $10 a month, or maybe it costs you $50 up front, but then you post it to Facebook and it automatically posts to the other ones. That's not a bad idea either, because then you're not spending your time, but your focus wants to be on 1 or 2 platforms only. That is a social media marketing quick start guide. And if you take those steps, they're not magical, they're simple, but they absolutely work. So start doing it and you'll notice within 30, 60, 90 days, you'll be amazed at what you can accomplish. Now remember, like, share, and subscribe. And if you have a question, post it at leverageshow.com so I can answer it for you on a future episode. And until next time, make it happen.